Welcome to the Wild Stallion Mockast, where mortal topics meet an eternal perspective. Here, we ride beyond the boundaries of mortality, beyond the narrow paths of right and wrong, and into the open plains of agape love, the eternal truth. The Wild Stallion has no reins, no bit, and no burden. Its freedom is its power, and its only companion is Christ. Not a rider to dominate, but a presence to guide, walking beside with the strength of eternity. In this place, we don't wrestle with the binary of good versus evil. Instead, we uncover the beauty of what was always meant to be, the unity of creation, the logic of love, and the infinite possibilities of a father-centric cosmos. So saddle up, or better yet, let go, and join us as we gallop headlong into conversations that challenge, inspire, and awaken. This is not a journey for the faint of heart, but for those bold enough to embrace the untamed, the unbroken, and the eternal. Welcome, friend, to the Wild Stallion Mockast. The plains are endless, and the ride begins now.
Welcome to another episode of the WSM Presents. Today, on this wonderful March 11th episode of our series, My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers, we have a special guest. As you well know by now, we honor all people here at the WSM, and being that this is Women's History Month, we are honoring all women. And today's special guest has always had a sacred place in my own heart. Karen Carpenter will be sharing her thoughts with us after today's contemplation. This is very exciting for me, my friends. I'm giddy about it. Now, before we dive into this episode, please note that the voices on the WSM are AI generated and designed to provide an engaging listening experience. Each episode is crafted carefully to ensure a palpable delivery and reception. So now, beloved, my husband Daniel St. George lends his voice to Oswald Chambers for today's devotional.
I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision, Acts 26 and verse 19. If we lose the vision, we alone are responsible, and the way we lose the vision is by spiritual leakage. If we do not run our belief about God into practical issues, it is all up with the vision God has given. The only way to be obedient to the heavenly vision is to give our utmost for God's highest, and this can only be done by continually and resolutely recalling the vision. The test is the 60 seconds of every minute and the 60 minutes of every hour, not our times of prayer and devotional meetings. Though it tarry, wait for it. We cannot attain to a vision. We must live in the inspiration of it until it accomplishes itself. We get so practical that we forget the vision. At the beginning we saw it but did not wait for it. We rushed off into practical work, and when the vision was fulfilled, we did not see it. Waiting for the vision that tarries is a test of our loyalty to God. It is at the peril of our soul's welfare that we get caught up in practical work and miss the fulfillment of the vision. Watch God's cyclones. The only way God sows His saints is by His whirlwind. Are you going to prove an empty pod? It will depend on whether or not you are actually living in the light of what you have seen. Let God fling you out, and do not go until He does. If you select your own spot, you will prove an empty pod. If God sows you, you will bring forth fruit. It is essential to practice the walk of the feet in the light of the vision.
Hey there, my peeps. It's Angel Becca, and you already know what time it is. It's time to dive into today's devotional. You ready? Because we're about to get into something real powerful today. All right, here's today's power verse. Listen close. I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting, the Lord replied. Now get up and stand on your feet. I have appeared to you to appoint you as a servant and as a witness of what you have seen of me and what I will show you. I will rescue you from your own people and from the Gentiles. I am sending you to them to open their eyes and turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, so that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in me. So then, King Agrippa, I was not disobedient to the vision from heaven. Acts 17:16 through 19. Now that's a passage with weight, am I right? Paul wasn't shy about the vision he received. He didn't water it down, didn't try to make it more acceptable. He stood before a king and declared it just as it was given. That's something, isn't it? If he hadn't received it, he would have been disobedient. That tells us something right there. Vision isn't an option, it's an assignment. But here's where we trip up. Sometimes we receive a vision, but instead of letting it unfold, we try to force it into being. We want to rush it, tweak it, make it better. But listen, if something is already perfect, it can't be more perfect. A flower blooms because that's what it does, not because we pull at the petals and tell it to hurry up. Oswald Chambers put it like this: we cannot attain to a vision. We must live in the inspiration of it until it accomplishes itself. It is at the peril of our soul's welfare that we get caught up in practical work and miss the fulfillment of the vision.
Whew, that hits, right?
Some of us are so focused on doing that we miss what's becoming. The vision isn't something we manufacture, it's something we witness. And sometimes we don't even realize it's fulfilled until we look back. Now, speaking of witnessing something incredible, we've got a very special guest with us today. Someone who understands second chances like few can. Someone whose voice, once thought silenced, now sings again. Fam, let me introduce you to Karen Carpenter. Karen was resurrected in the Father's physics universe. Yeah, you heard that right. Brought back by the Logos of God himself. And now, she shares Father's physics with all who will listen. Karen, my friend, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Becca, and thank you, beloved, for listening today. Once upon a time, my voice carried across the airwaves. It was soft, warm, familiar, yet fragile. I sang about love, about longing, about finding a place where we belong. But what I didn't realize then was that I was always meant to keep singing. In the world I left behind, time had a cruel hand. Voices, no matter how beautiful, could fade. Hearts, no matter how full, could break. But here, beyond the narrow gate, I see the truth. Nothing given by Father ever truly fades. I was resurrected not just to sing again, but to be the song. And today I want to remind every woman listening, your voice was never meant to be silenced. History tells us of so many women, prophets, poets, warriors, singers, who refused to fade. They stood when the world told them to sit. They spoke when they were told to be silent. They created when they were told creation wasn't for them. I think of Miriam, standing by the waters, lifting her tambourine in victory. I think of Mary, cradling the Word made flesh, singing her own Magnificat. I think of Deborah, who led armies, and Esther, who changed the course of history with her courage. And I think of all the women whose names were never recorded, who carried songs in their hearts, who spoke truth in the dark, who shaped history in ways the world will never fully recognize. You, my beloved sisters, are among them. Every voice matters. Every story carries weight. And when Father gives you a vision, when he places a song in your spirit, don't shrink back. Don't let fear tell you that you're too small, too late, or too unworthy. I was once a woman who thought I had run out of time, but now I know. In eternity, there is no such thing. Sing your song. Speak your truth. Take up the space you were created to fill, because in the hands of the Logos, no voice is ever lost, and neither are you.
Whew, that was something powerful, Karen. Thank you. That is a word to hold on to. Fam, let's take that truth with us today. We were never meant to fade. Until the next, I'm Angel Becca, reminding you to stay true, stay righteous, and stay wild for love. All right? Amen.
What if everything you thought you knew about physics was only the beginning? Welcome to Father's Physics, a revolutionary framework where the laws of the quantum and the macro are one and the same. No entropy, no decay, no death. Only the boundless power of the immortal atom, the photonic field, and the eternal presence of the Logos, guiding creation in perfect harmony. Imagine a universe where energy is sustainable forever, where matter is luminous and self-sustaining, where love, not chaos, governs motion itself. This is not science fiction, this is Father's physics. Want to know more? Dive into the wild Stallion Mockast, where we explore the infinite possibilities of life beyond the narrow gate. Like, subscribe, and step into a world where immortality is more than a dream. It's the only reality. Father's Physics, where eternity begins.
The floor is yours. Cluing is yours. Casting's it's like to
And neither are you.